Hey guys, Banana Luck here and welcome back to another Watch Our Realms video. So this video is gonna be something that I've never really done before. It's gonna be like a complaint video of like all the things that I feel that, with how Watch Our Realms is going in the moment is not really going too well. So first of all, let's address something that most endgame players are concerned with, and that's Guild Wars. So we actually just entered a second week of season 2. As you can see here, we're in week 2 now, and I don't think this is the direction the game should have taken. I think that we should have at least taken like a 1 or 2 weeks break, and perhaps even seen some changes in the ways that uh, arena rosters are like. Sorry, GvG rosters are like in terms of placements and all that. Because if you're gonna look at placements wise, it's gonna be pretty standard. You're either gonna see the Northern comms, the Nightmare comms, or you're gonna see the Predecessors if it's a very big whale guild, or you're gonna see the Venoma, Cyrus, Boris, Kamek combo. So it's gotten pretty stale in that sense that every time you're just fighting the same folks, and even though you're getting new heroes and all that each week, you're pulling OP stuff. GvG is really the only way that you can exercise them, but even then, you don't really get to actually play those heroes because all these are auto fights. You don't really have a part to play. So it's pretty annoying to me, at least, that we just entered like a new season like this without any changes at all, and there's really nothing much that we can do at the moment other than just put our GvG defenses up and continue playing, because if not, we'll fall behind the trenches. And that's one big thing that I feel that Moonton should have done better, at least given us a break. If you didn't want to change anything of GvG, that's fine. At least give us that break, because GvG can get quite intense, especially if you are trying to go for that Overlord or top rankings. So that's just one annoyance that has gotten to me quite a bit. Because gearing wise and all that, in case you guys didn't know, 1 hour before reset on the day that Guild Wars is gonna take place, you actually need to have your gear in place, and once that's done, then you can swap your gear around. But it's just annoying that we have to do that. Why can't we actually lock in our gear for like certain heroes for just for GvG, for example, because this is one of the places that you really would appreciate your gear being locked, instead of having to go in and to adjust and fix it every time. So that's rant number 1. Guild Wars getting no revamp in season 2, and getting the same old demon soldiers, the same old strategies and lineups that you face are exactly the same. Just depends on how big of a whale your enemies are, and how farm your guildmates are actually, because gear also plays a big part here. So that's one thing, Guild Wars. Second thing that I want to talk about is Arena. So this is pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie. In the entire page, I can see at least like Kamet or Boris in almost every lineup. And that's just annoying, because what they do is that they actually just gate camp, they farm at the spawn, and if you don't have the right units to do exactly the same thing, Arena is just gonna be terribly painful for you. Boris has like a insane range, so Kamet at A3 also has that insane range, but only during his ultimate. Boris has that insane range throughout his entire deployment time. And I think that the game devs screwed up two ways here. First of all is coming up with new Arena when Boris was introduced, and not testing Boris before actually putting him out onto global. Like, the buffs were given to him for quite some time, but nobody really took notice to it. Nobody really played Boris. But as with all things go, the more players are at the game, the more strategies will be developed, and people just happen to find out how disgusting this unit is. And I can't go into a fight now without actually checking in AoE Arena whether it's going to be a Boris. I think in air attack is fairly alright. Air attack, you're gonna see defense team wise, I actually run no Boris, but I do decently well. But it's just annoying that for AoE, you're sort of restricted in terms of the lineups that you can actually try for. And I know all the borers and joyers out there will say, "Wah, that's a very big nerf. He's not gonna be great." Trust me, when the nerfs drop in the global server, no one's gonna reset borers unless they don't have a brain, and most people are still gonna use him because he's still gonna be a top tier mage. Maybe the gear requirements are higher for him to do what he does at the moment, but he's still gonna be an insane hero. I think what people are not addressing here, other than nerfs, is the nerf in the drop rate. Okay, so we have seen the data that's coming out from content creators and some other players as well, but I think no one's addressing the nerfs and drop rates, and I think that's on to the next topic, right? Moonton being really shady with how drop rates are changing. So first of all, we had a drop rate change for Boris. He became the Hatsut rarity level. And then we also had Silas moving, Kamet moving, and Kamet and Boris are just heroes that I don't actually have. So with those drop rates changes, I doubt I'll ever actually get them in my lifetime here. So it is annoying knowing that they are doing this behind the scenes, and I think that is being overshadowed by the nerfs that are coming out, but people are forgetting that these nerfs to the drop rates are happening. So if you are looking to get your Boris to A3, that's not going to happen for you anytime soon because the drop rates are just abysmal for him right now. So I think that's something that people are starting to forget, that Moonton has been doing all this shady stuff behind the scenes. And even with the recent gear rate plunder, there's just tons of complaints from people talking about drop rates feeling nerfed. And I think even from the data that people have collected, it's been proven that even though there was a stamina reduction, you actually have to farm. For example, let's say on average you take 2000 stamina to actually farm one ancient piece in normal times. During the plunder, you had to do the same thing, even though it was reduced stamina. So you still have to do 2000 runs, even though there was a 20. You still have to do 2000 stamina worth of runs to get one ancient, even though the rates were reduced. So more runs, but the same amount of ancients, which basically means that the plunder event was a bad one. The rates were already set up to fail for us from the very get-go, and even if you dropped in tons of stamina in there, what's the point? Because you don't really get the benefit out of it. Ancients still don't drop as often because it's being corrected by the amount of stamina that you actually use. And I think all this shady stuff that is taking place in the background, people are not really, taking a close look at it, because some people are still not at a stage where they are in the end game. And that's gonna be, on to my next topic, which is, coming up with sustainable content that people can actually pursue. So right now, I'm at level 96. I've cleared every single thing in the game. The only thing that I've not cleared is getting top 1 in arena, but I think that's a whales affair, so I'm not gonna try until one day I pull like Paradis or something, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I've cleared basically everything. For my faction trials, I'm just left with one hero that I need to get, that's Asrin or Dastomi, and then I can get the last star to complete faction trials. So I've completed everything in the game. I auto my guild boss on a daily basis. If I'm not feeling lazy, then I'll do a manual run, and 62k is actually my high score. So yeah, I think that's like just setting up the background of what I've been doing. Faction trials are fully auto. I don't really change my GvG stuff as well, so things are getting pretty stable. Arena is pretty much the same. We hit Apex Overlord every week, and we don't actually have to buy permits or whatnot to get that. So it's just farm, but other than GvG performing well there, if you think about it, there's actually nowhere else that endgame content can actually fulfill the need of us wanting to use the new heroes that we are pulling. So if let's say you put like A3 Hatsut like me last week, what's A3 Hatsut gonna do other than being arena? And arena being as stale as it is, you don't really spend much time in there. It's starting to feel like it's pointless to actually pull for all these heroes. So I know that Zillitu Hex banner is the next one that's coming up. And if you see over here, my Zillitu is 1 awakening away from getting A3, which results in her getting permanent ultimate uptime if you run the Rage Regen strat in Guild Boss. And I thought to myself, hey, that sounds pretty good, but once I get there, what's next for me? So I have thoughts on actually leaving the game because I don't share that same passion I have anymore. After pulling 3 Hatsuts last weekend, I didn't feel like, this is the game that I used to enjoy because there's just simply nothing else that we can push towards. So to all the new players out there that are still struggling, hang in there, enjoy the grind, enjoy the process because, at the end of the day, once you reach the state that I'm at the moment, you're gonna find the game pretty stale and it's gonna wear you out pretty quickly. So these sentiments that I just shared, across the board, in terms of GvG, Arena being stale, no endgame content, and the shady stuff that Moonton is doing behind the scenes, these are things that have been shared on the content creators chat on Discord. I've also spoke to in the public chat with other folks, and most of us agree that, this is actually taking away the joy of the game from all the endgame players. We have lots of people trying to sell their accounts, trying to get out of the game because they've simply completed everything that they can, and there's just nothing else that we can actually do from here on. So a lot of my guildmates are still barely there in terms of getting to 50k blood. You can see this guy. He has A2 Twin Fin, A2 Zillitu, but he has Torador as well, but he's still nowhere near in terms of the damage. And I think that just boils down to the gear. But once he has farmed the gear, then what's next for him? You will clear all your faction trials and all that, then what's next? So pretty long run, but I think these are the 4 areas that I want to talk about. With the gear dungeon coming out soon, I am excited for that, testing out new content and all that, but if you think about it, there's only 150 tries from that. So 150 auto runs later, you're going to be done. And judging from the gear that people have been getting, it seems like you're not going to get a lot of high quality stuff from, clearing endgame content like that. And I can assure you that if Chapter 10 or the new guild boss comes out, that's going to be cleared by most people within like a day or 2. So the game probably has lots to go in terms of trying to, find a place for endgame players. And I think that has to be done soon because it's been pretty stale for pretty long. And with the way that GvG has been going, if they're going to do Season 2 like this, I can foresee people starting to lose interest. Because what's the point of actually getting the top rankings in GvG if, nothing really changed? It's going to be the same exact thing. I personally don't feel that incentivized to do it anymore, but I could be wrong. Some people could feel differently. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video, guys. It's a short rant, but, just want to share my thoughts. I am seriously considering leaving the game, but I've really enjoyed the community here. Posting videos, helping people out, that has really made, life after working hours much more pleasurable for me. And I am considering, when hitting 500 subs, I will actually maybe do some takeovers for free and, help some other players that are still very new out there. So yeah, do subscribe to the channel and, I will decide how I'm going to do the giveaway for the takeovers and, help me get to that 500 subs so I can be motivated to actually, do these takeovers and, still continue participating in this game. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Feel free to share your thoughts below in the comment section, whether you feel the same about what I shared and, whether you think there's anything that Moonton could be doing better. Whether it's, providing more visibility over nerfing drop rates and whatnot, or, taking the advice from, players to actually change GvG, or, actually come out with content that's more sustainable for the endgame players. That's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.